breaking news, breaking news. JLR investigates. Good morning, everyone, with the breaking news. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Just one more day until election day, folks. Crunch time, folks. Are you out there going to vote? Are you going to vote? We're going to talk about this case here that's not getting a lot of attention, but it kind of coincides with what we've been talking about when it comes to illegal immigration, people crossing into the United States illegally, people going into communities and terrorizing families. There has been another incident that just happened in northern Georgia, almost in the Blue Ridge Mountains of Georgia, and this is pretty shocking to the core. Now, it's gotten some media attention, but it hasn't gotten a lot. Yesterday, the former president of the United States, Donald Trump, he was speaking at a rally in Georgia, and he actually brought this victim's family members up to speak, the mother. And we're talking about Mimi Rodriguez right here. She was a TikTok star. She was a fitness guru, a TikTok star with a big, big following on TikTok. And she's 25 years old. She was 25. Sadly, she was taken, her life was taken. She was going to Walmart, and her body was found near Walmart, dead. And we got an individual that got arrested. She was 25 years old. Now, this individual right here, Angel Rivera, he's 24. He is an illegal. He's in the country illegally, a migrant from Mexico, which is very, very interesting because you don't really hear many incidents about migrants from Mexico lately that have been doing these murders on these innocent young females around the country. Now, this is in Cornelia, Georgia. Cornelia, Georgia is like literally like, I don't know if you know the map of Georgia, but it's like northwest of Atlanta. It's getting towards the Blue Ridge Mountains, Tallulah Falls area. They call it Habersham County, not far from where Laken Riley was murdered, believe it or not. What in the world is going on in Georgia? Do we have a Georgia problem, folks, in northwest Georgia? You know, I was looking on my map and I saw this and I was like, instantly went on my map and I'm like, yo, this is like in the mountains, technically. It's like, it's awesome up there. Helen, Georgia, it's really, really beautiful up there with mountains. But then I was thinking, didn't Laken Riley get murdered nearby here? And I went on the map and I'm like, lo and behold, it was like 45 minutes away. That's where Laken Riley was murdered by an illegal earlier in the year. And then there was another case that we were covering with a little girl named Maria Perez who was kidnapped out of her home, and there was like a 60-day, manhunt for the person to, that took her, and she ended up being found 500 miles away in another state. Well, that was in Gainesville, Georgia, which is just 30 miles from here. So my mind's thinking, whoa. We got three incidents in the last year of migrants who crossed into the United States illegally, victimizing innocent females in the northwest Georgia area, or northeast Georgia area, not northwest, northeast Georgia area, like the mountainous area. So where are these people coming from? Like, how are they even getting to Georgia? As some of you might or might not know, with the Laken Riley case, the two brothers, right? The brothers, they went to New York City and then left New York City and made their way down to Georgia. Now, in fairness, folks, there's a lot of industries in that area of Georgia that rely on migrants to do the agricultural and farm work around there. Could that have been this guy right here? Angel Rivera. He's 24, so he was 1 year younger than her. She was 25. Common pattern I'm seeing with these criminals that are victimizing these innocent females when they're out and about, they're usually in their mid-20s. Which I find very, very interesting. Rest in peace, Rachel Morin, too, on that. So let's get an idea of what's going on. Come on in, folks. We're going to talk about this a little bit. We're going to listen to her mom. Her mom speaks. One thing I noticed about these presidential candidates, I don't know if you guys are going out to vote tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day. I do believe there will be a contested election I don't believe the winner or the loser, the winner is going to win. But I don't think the loser is going to concede, and I think there's going to be a lot of problems on that aspect. But we'll talk about that later, and we've been talking about that in other reports dealing with the security and the allegations of election fraud all over the place. But one thing I noticed about these candidates, Kamala Harris and Donald Trump, it seems like I've never seen yet, and then correct me if I'm wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong here, but I haven't seen yet anyone on Kamala Harris's side that brings any of these victims' families up that, lost, they lost a child or a loved one due to illegal immigration. I've never seen anyone on the Kamala Harris side. What I have seen, though, is I've seen on the Donald Trump side, a lot of these, victims' families have, stood by Trump and, spoken. It seems like Trump actually takes the initiative to reach out to some of these family members that lost their lives. Case in point, Rachel Morin's mom, Jocelyn Nungare's mom, Jocelyn Alexis Nungare, she's like always communicating with Trump, it seems like, or has an open-end communication. And Trump, I believe, listens to these family members. But, that's just worth noting. I don't know. Maybe these family members have spoken to Kamala, but technically Kamala's not the president. Either is Trump. Either of them are president. One of them is going to be president. One of them is going to be president, but I just wonder why Kamala Harris has not reached out or spoken, or any of these family members side by side. So let's talk about this. Let's talk about this case. This case is not getting much attention, but we're going to put it out there since we cover the border. We cover the things that are going on all over the place on the southern border, particularly with migrant crime. She was 25 years old. She's from Puerto Rico, so she's Puerto Rican. And she was a fitness guru, fitness star on TikTok. So she would make lots of videos on TikTok. Is that how this guy found her? By, scanning her TikTok account? Because they're both from the same town. It's a little town, Cornelia. There's only a few thousand people there. So this is kind of shocking to the core to have a murder in a small community that doesn't normally get murders, right? So apparently she was at Walmart, and she last communicated with her fiance. So she was in a relationship with someone, and then she just vanished. This was around October 22nd, 2024. And this individual got caught. He was trying to board a bus. He was trying to get out of town, and they got him, right? Trying to load up on the bus, right? So what is going on with this? But she is on TikTok. She was, and she still has her TikTok account. Her name is Mimi. She goes by Mimi. And this is her TikTok account. She had 49,000 subs on TikTok, 337,000 likes, and she got lots of videos. I mean, she even got videos where she got millions of views. Millions of views right here. Millions of views. 800,000. 700,000. So, she is not just one of these rinky-dink persons. When someone has millions of views, they're viral, right? And so she got, each of her videos are at least in the hundreds of thousands of views. So I don't know the affidavit or probable cause of how this guy met up with her, but it could be a situation like Rachel Morin case, where this migrant guy was just lurking in the shadows and then picking a victim of opportunity. It's pretty scary, folks. It's pretty scary. And we've always said, folks, you got to be careful, with the jogging on the trails and whatnot. They try to tell people nowadays it's not safe to go alone, particularly for a younger female. Wear a whistle, change your patterns and methods. Don't go the same time, whatever like that, because you never know when someone's going to watch you and stalk you. But in this particular case, it looks like she was targeted at the Walmart. So what in the world is going on here? Why would a Mexican migrant target an innocent girl at the Walmart? Scary stuff. And why isn't there more outcry about this? Why isn't there more outcry about this particular case? So I'm going to get this report here. It's that local report in Georgia. And we're going to talk about this a little bit. We're going to talk about this case a little bit.
Social media. And now to this, a young mother and social media influencer from Cornelia was found dead earlier this week.
And now a man is in custody for her killing, and her family is speaking out about the case to 11 Live's Erica Murphy.
Oh, that destroyed me.
Carmen Ramirez says her daughter, Minelys, known by everyone as Mimi, was a ray of sunshine. Ramirez says she and Mimi's fiance grew concerned when she went missing last week. Police found Mimi's car near a store where she once worked.
They just found her wallet and one shoe, like shoes. That was another thing that make us think that she don't get out of the car. So simple, get out of the car. You don't get out of the car with one shoe on your feet.
And when they started searching the trunk, Ramirez says her own life flashed before her eyes.
When they was going to open the trunk of the car, I think I start seeing everything. My life, my heart goes so fast.
Mimi's remains were found later. Since she disappeared in an area she was familiar with, her mom believes she may have known her killer. She also thinks the suspect, Angel DeJesus Rivera-Sanchez, had help.
I don't think he do it by himself. I don't think he can handle Mimi by himself.
Because she was strong.
Yeah, she was very strong.
And this is a case that we followed very closely. We will continue to follow this case. And it's part of our commitment to more than a number, where we aim to honor the lives lost beyond just the initial headlines. If there's someone that you'd like to tell us about, you can fill out a form on our website. Just go to
That's the only media report that I literally saw on this. I think Law and Crime did a piece on it. Here's another small clip sharing what's going on. Because I was just like, well, at least if I'm going to bring attention, I'm going to play some clips, right? And try to get people aware of, what's going on. And there's not much info on this. I wonder why.
The walk along Furniture Drive mirrors the path investigators took to find the remains of once missing Minelys Rodriguez. The 25-year-old's family reported her missing last week after she was last seen at the Cornelia Walmart in Habersham County. The Habersham County Sheriff's Office says the last time anyone heard from her was in a 9:30 p.m. text from her fiancé the night she disappeared. The GBI took over the investigation Friday, calling in the Department of Natural Resources to help find the woman's body. Rodriguez was regarded as a TikTok star who shared her workout videos on social media. GBI agents arrested 24-year-old Angel Rivera Monday on kidnapping charges in connection with Rodriguez's disappearance. He now also faces a murder charge and remains in the Habersham County Detention Center. A judge denied him bond. According to an online fundraiser, her family eventually plans to take her body back to Puerto Rico, where she was born.
Scary. And the mother thinks he didn't act alone, which is even more scary. Do we have more co-defendants out there that have not been caught? I can't find anything on this guy. And that's what's even scarier, too, about these people that cross into the United States illegally. That he's from Mexico. He's living in Cornelia, don't know where. I was trying to do all the searches and everything like that to try to find out more details. But just like the Rachel Morin killer, these people just come in and they almost are like gypsies and go from community to community to community. Now, I don't know if he lived in Cornelia the entire time he crossed in the United States illegally. He's an illegal migrant from Mexico. It's out there. The information is out there. He's an illegal migrant from Mexico. But the crazy thing about it is it just keeps happening and happening and happening. These young females are getting targeted and stuff like that. Where do they come from? Where do they live? And who is his associates? Remember the Laken Riley case, just 45 miles or so to the south of this. You had the brothers living in a house with a bunch of people. And Laken Riley was targeted. It's scary, folks. It's scary, not knowing who these people are that are crossing the United States. And why did he decide to target her? Did he know her? Were they communicating? But none of the media or none of the police reports say anything about her knowing this guy. I think it's stranger on stranger. Another stranger on stranger again. That's my opinion on that until proven otherwise. But again, it shows, hey, you got to be very careful nowadays, even if you're young, if you have young daughters out there and you have people out there. It's almost like, you got to go out in pairs at this point. You got to go out in pairs, or you got to be very, very careful about where you're going, because we're talking about a community. Now, this happened at the Walmart in Cornelia in northern Georgia, folks, in northern Georgia. Look, this is the map. This is the area, right? So I'm going to zoom it out here just to show you for all the viewers that watch JLR Investigates. So when you think of people that cross into the United States illegally, a lot of them are coming through Eagle Pass, El Paso, Santa Teresa, Lukeville, Arizona, Sassabee, Nogales, Cumba, California, Brownsville, Texas, McAllen, Texas down there, you know, different spots. But what we normally hear is that these migrants that cross the United States illegally end up in cities like New York, Chicago, Denver, Houston, sometimes Dallas, and but how in the world are some of these people that cross the United States illegally ending up in North Georgia, in the middle of nowhere, in North Georgia? This is where this occurred, folks. In North Georgia. Now remember, Laken Riley, Athens, Georgia, University of Georgia, right? Athens, Georgia. North Georgia, in the mountains. The mountains, from the foothills of the mountains. How in the world are these migrants? And what's scary is, remember the case of Maria Perez, the 11-year-old girl that was kidnapped out of her home by a guy from Guatemala and taken out of state? That happened here. Laken Riley, here. Now here. Just a girl going to Walmart. So this needs to be talked about. And how are some of these migrants ending up in small communities committing these crimes? It's almost like they are everywhere. And like no community is safe anymore. I say that with general concern, you know, because this could be your daughter. This could be your friend. I'm going to give you the population of Cornelia, Georgia. Just a case in point. Cornelia, Georgia. Population. I think it's just a few thousand. Population. Here you go. Here you go. In Cornelia, Georgia, where this happened, the population is 5,300 people. 5,300 people, folks. That is crazy. Not like it's Chicago, not like it's New York, not like it's Aurora and Denver, a little small community now. And someone lost their life because of someone that crossed into the United States illegally. But why did somebody said in the chat chicken plants? There's chicken plants in northern Georgia. Are there chicken plants? Agricultural chicken? Now again, there's some really, really hard workers out there. But this guy that did this was not on any type of work visa. He was in the United States illegally. Wasn't on a work visa. Was in the United States illegally. I have no sympathy for anyone that's in the United States illegally. I have no problem with people that get visas and are working and contributing to the United States economy and doing, that's basically America was built off immigration. So if you want to, have people that come in and do work and work and want to contribute, awesome. Awesome. But then when you have people that specifically are not allowed to be here, and their status is technically they should be deported immediately, ICE doesn't do it, Border Patrol doesn't do it, and then they go victimize and target innocent people, it's horrible. And it's going to continue. It's going to continue. And it's going to keep hitting these rural communities, not the cities. We listened to a segment last night about a girl explaining what was going on in Denver in the suburbs. News Nation was saying that the Venezuelan gangs, Tren de Aragua, are gaining a foothold in cities and communities all across the country. Remember, the ones that killed Laken Riley were from Venezuela. This guy was from Mexico. Remember this face. Remember the face. Let's listen to Minnie's mom. She spoke yesterday. She spoke yesterday at a Donald Trump rally. But just listen to her words. It's always good to hear the family's words and how they feel about a situation. It's always good. We're going to play her voice right here.
My name is Carmen Ramirez. I'm the mother of Minelys Rodriguez-Ramirez. She was murdered the last Tuesday. I lose my daughter, but I don't lose my faith. And I know Donald Trump is the best choice for the USA. And not the best choice. He's the only one we need to save our country. I just want to let you know that everybody have to go and vote. Because just for talking and don't vote, we don't do nothing. Take your friends, take your children, 18 years old. Everybody have to vote. Because that's the only way we're gonna save us country. Okay? And I wanna let you know that Donald Trump is not a choice. It's just the number one. And Jesus let me come over here today to let you know that I have a 25 years daughter with a lot of life. And somebody stop her life. And we have to stop with this and keep going with Donald Trump. I meet Donald Trump in person. He's the most wonderful person that I see, that I know right now. He help us, he be with us all the time once this happen. And he always be there for my family. That's why we always gonna be for him all the time. Thank you for everything. Thank you, and don't forget to go and vote. God bless America. Please, make America great again.
So she lost her daughter the week prior, and she's on stage with Donald Trump saying Trump talked to her, and Trump, maybe told her solutions of what he was going to do. This is her daughter that was murdered, Cornelia, Georgia. She's from Puerto Rico. The thing about what I've been noticing about this whole thing with these families that get victimized by people across the United States illegally, again, Kamala Harris is not side by side with any of these families. I don't know if the other administration refuses to meet with them, because I'm sure the other families would be welcoming to hear from Biden or Kamala, but I never see it. Why? Is it just a topic and an issue they just want to ignore? The economy is pretty bad, but I feel the number one issue in this country is the border. And I think most of the people that go vote tomorrow, it's their thoughts on the border and the handling of the border and their concerns about open borders. I think it supersedes the economy. I think it supersedes every other issue, because I'm telling you, based off what I've seen down there at the border, and I will continue to express that on this channel about what I've seen on the border, It cannot sustain itself. And America literally is doomed. And crime across the country, gangs, will get worse and worse if this does not get fixed this way. If people want to come into the United States illegally and be productive people and work and contribute, live the American dream, I have no problem with that. I love that. I love hearing the stories where people come in and work and live that American dream. I'm living the American dream. I'm living the American dream. I've been in prison for 10 years. I made bad choices, rock bottom, had all types of problems going on, got out, decided to make a change, work, apply myself, surround myself with good people, build a family structure, believe in God, and I was given that chance, and I'm thriving. I feel like I'm thriving, and the best is yet to come for me. I'm just at the beginning of, where my potential. But I was given a chance. Everyone can be given a chance, and the opportunity in this country is there for everyone. And I'm still stigmatized like a second-class citizen. I'm a felon. There's some things I can't do. Can't possess a weapon. Can't get certain licenses for certain careers. There's a lot of things I like to do. I like to be a private investigator. Unfortunately, I can't because I can't get a license for that, which sucks. And I feel like, a lot of people, throw things out there that they've been marginalized or racism and everything like that. But I deal with a lot of that every day just for having a record. But it doesn't deter me to just keep pushing harder and fighting. And, I feel like, this is the best country in the world to be in. It's the only country that I would want to live in. And, the opportunity's there. And, I pay my taxes and, I live responsibly and, refrain from negative people and negative activities and things like that. And I'm fallible. I still make mistakes, just like a lot of you out there probably still make your little mistakes and everything like that. But to come into this country specifically, given that opportunity, that blessing to, cross over, through a legal process and then take advantage of that and, destroy families and commit crimes and, tap into the welfare system and social services and just use that and not apply yourself. I have a big problem with that. That's everybody that just, crosses in the United States illegally through that process should be deported. My opinion. They should. They should, because I see it very organized, structured, and systematic, taking advantage of the situation. Scary times ahead, folks. So because of this guy right here, Senate Public Safety Chairman John Albers, Majority Leader Stephen Gooch demand border security action following murder of Mimi Rodriguez-Ramirez. And they put this alert out in Georgia. See, Georgia has a problem. I'm telling you, Northeast Georgia has a problem. Senate Committee on Public Safety Chairman John Albers of Roswell, Georgia, and Senate Majority Leader Stephen Gooch today issued statements following the tragic murder of Mimi, whose body was recovered last week after her disappearance in Cornelia, Georgia. Albers expressed his thoughts regarding the events leading to Rodriguez's death, drawing a strong connection to a lack of border security and urging immediate federal action. It is with profound sadness and frustration that we mourn the senseless murder of Mimi, known to her friends. 25-year-old Rodriguez-Ramirez worked hard to build a life here in Georgia. She was last seen October 22nd, 2024 at Walmart in Cornelia, and her body was tragically found a week later. She leaves behind her family and 9-year-old daughter. Mimi moved from Puerto Rico and secured employment with Mount Vernon Hills INC and tirelessly supported her daughter, mother, and fiance. She did everything right, yet her life was cut short because of our federal government's repeated failure to protect its own citizens. The suspected murderer, Angel DeJesus Rivera-Sanchez, an illegal immigrant who had no right to be here, was apprehended in Atlanta as he tried to flee back to Mexico. He was charged with kidnapping in connection with her disappearance. Once again, our open border policies have claimed another life on American soil right here in Georgia. I commend the swift work of the Habersham Sheriff's Office, the GBI, and all agencies involved in apprehending this suspect. My colleagues in the Senate and I remain unwavering in our commitment to securing our state and nation. Earlier this year, we acted decisively with House Bill 1105, the Georgia Criminal Alien Track and Report Act, which I proudly carried in the Senate and was signed into law by Brian Kemp. How many more lives must be lost due to the open border policies in Washington? The administration's failure to address the issue impacts families here in Georgia and across the United States. Earlier this year, our community mourned the tragic death of Laken Riley, a resident in my district, and now we mourn Mimi Rodriguez-Ramirez. These were preventable tragedies, and we will not forget them. Say their names. Senate Majority Stephen Gooch echoed Albert's sentiments, calling for immediate and stronger federal action on border control to prevent such tragedies in the future. The murder of Mimi, so close to my district, is a tragedy that should prompt us all to question how much longer will we put our people at risk due to Americans' failure to secure our borders. Mimi followed the law, worked hard, and raised a family here, yet her life was stolen by an illegal alien who had no right to be in this country. Enough is enough. We must protect our families, uphold the dignity of those who respect our laws, and restore the security that every community deserves. I agree with him. Why? And then, not only that, but he was trying to flee after he did this crime. He went to Atlanta from Cornelia, which is, let me see how far Atlanta is. Atlanta, it's probably about an hour or so away. Yeah, hour and a half. So after he commits this murder, knows that they're on him, what does he do? He flees, and he shoots from Cornelia down to Atlanta, an hour and a half away, and gets picked up by authorities trying to flee back to Mexico. But again, folks, it's scary because what in the world is going on in Northeast? You got Laken Riley, Maria Perez, and now Mimi. Some people say Mimi, some people say Mimi. Enough is enough, right? So once again, another story on this particular issue. Other than that, there is a GoFundMe set up for this family. Unfortunately, it is in Spanish, and I can't read it. But there is $12,000. The family has set up a GoFundMe. $12,000 organized, I'm assuming, by one of our family members, Cornelia Georgia. $12,525. We'll keep documenting these people. Now, there's again, change of policy, whether it's a change of administration or not. You could get Kamala Harris, and she could get elected and then decide to change it and stop this. I certainly hope so. Or you could get Donald Trump to change this or stop this too. Or you could get Donald Trump in there and really nothing stops and it continues to happen. A lot of people say, well, if Trump is in office, this wouldn't happen. How do you know that wouldn't happen if Trump was in office? How do you know for sure? There's so many people in this country, even under Trump's watch, a lot of people come into the country illegally. What are people going to do to actually stop this? What are some solutions to actually stop this? Heard a solution yesterday from Trump. He's like, the criminal gangs, he's going to make them pay and pay the victims' families. But that's money-wise. What are you going to stop preventing this from? And then us also after the fact that a crime has occurred. What are you going to stop? How are you going to stop it? Like, how are you going to stop people coming in? Remain in Mexico policies? You're going to have to get the Mexicans on board here and stop because, really it does fall on Mexican side. What are you going to do? Like, what are you going to, even if Trump's in office, what is he going to do? What is he going to do from first thing? Do you deport? Now, let me ask you something. Because, you know, this gets a very sensitive topic. What happens if a bunch of people that cross the United States illegally and they start finding American citizens and start having some kids and having children and stuff like that? Now these people are in the country illegally with some children that were born in America and everything like that. And you got a new administration. They're going to just go in and just grab people up and deport them. And, you know, with children and everything like that, imagine the outcry on that, you know, separating people from their families. One of the policymakers, I think Tom Homan, remember Tom Homan? Said their families the kids can go back to Mexico or go back to the countries with them. And then how does it even work with the deportation? Like, how does it work? Do you send stormtroopers from community to community and just round people up? Are we going into a civil liberties thing where anyone with Hispanic descent or anyone that looks like they're not from this country starts getting rounded up and at least questioned and show your paperwork? How do you prevent the next person from coming in? Again, just build a wall? You think build a wall is really going to work? We've seen it. We've been down the wall. When you build a wall, they get a fence and they get a ladder and they climb the fence. Seen it in Arizona. Me and Magnolia, we roll up on it numerous times on people that just they clock the Border Patrol when the Border Patrol's not around because they got scouters that are looking all on the mountains and everything like that. And when they see no Border Patrol within miles and they know they can get away, they make this little makeshift ladder and they throw it up over there. And they're all dressed in black and about a group of 20 jump over and they run off. But they can get that done in 3 minutes. Boom. Climb right up, climb up, gone. Get the ladder down, gone. We see people actually cut through the border wall, squeeze through the border wall. You gotta get those tools. Cut the beams, push them open, go right through. Some places you can't get the wall because it's so mountainous. So people just go around the wall. People go under the wall. People cross over the Rio Grande. But what are you gonna really do to stop people from coming in? I guess you could kind of make it less and less, or do you stop the CBP? Do you stop the temporary protective status? Do you stop these programs? And then the only concern that will allow people to come in and stay and really focus just on the gotaways and the people that are crossing in and just... What do? Stand on the border like with guns? Border Patrol stand on guns every 50 feet and stand there and face the border wall? How do you stop it? Because a lot of people in the chat are like, vote Trump, vote Trump, vote Trump. Okay, vote Trump. Trump gets in. What is he going to do to stop this? Is he going to stop it? Is he going to stop it? Can he? Would he be obstructed from Congress to stop it? Will we got some Congress members or people in Congress that can't pass a border bill? How do you stop it? How do you stop it? How do you prevent the monsters from coming in? I'd like to know. It's something that we're going to definitely be paying attention to. I'd like to know how you stop this. How do you stop people from coming in? You start shooting people like... that come in and cross over and say freeze, and if they don't freeze, that's on them? What do? Electrical border walls? Cameras on the border walls? Drones? A lot of people are saying yeah in the chat. Now, I just want to know. I got a couple people I know that are down there on the border right now. That right now, I should have went to the border. I was thinking about going to D.C., change my mind on DC. I'm just gonna stick around here for the next day or two, monitor what's going on with the elections, continue to cover true crime, and then if something breaks off on the border or whatever like that, you know, with National Guard or change of policies, whatever like that, and they actually start arresting people that cross over or I don't know, Texas lately in the last week has been firing pepper balls back at people. I don't know if you guys seen it. People that have been crossing the Eagle Pass in the last week, they're meeting National Guard who's firing pepper balls back at him and scaring him off. Scary times ahead, folks. Stay vigilant out there. All right, folks, that's all I'm reporting on this particular case. We are praying for this victim's families, and I'll try to get more information about him, learn a little bit more. We say no to illegal immigration on JLR Investigates. Scary times. Stay safe out there. This could be your daughter. This could be your friend. This could be your loved one. We'll talk soon. Have a good day, everyone. JLR Investigates. Stay safe.